How's it going, everybody? DJ K DuB Omaha, Wired Axcess podcast with the All Axcess Granted.
I didn't want that to be the standard. I didn't want someone else in the room to set the standard. I always wanted to do that.
The journey to get there, I think, is something, that is amazing.
Let's get this podcast started.
That's right. Welcome to Wired Axcess, All Axcess Granted. I'm your host, DJ K DuB Omaha. Today we have former Nebraska prep, now going to Missouri Baptist, part of the NAIA, Mikey Gow, Mr. Ambidextrous, as everybody knows him. But there's so much more to this young man. And of course, for you guys that know me, you know I follow people and I can only make the assessment from what we see. But until they get to share their story, their journey, and especially for you, I'm a former military brat. My dad had me moving. Your dad had you moving. But that doesn't take away from who you are. It added to your adversity and what you're going to do about it. And I think the struggles, the stresses, and all that have led you to obviously who you are. You've had some great opportunities. You've had some opportunities that kind of maybe. But this is where we're going to just share who you are and really kind of get down to, who Mikey Gow is and how and what Missouri Baptist is going to get. I mean, we all know if you're here from the central of the United States, you know that there's a lot of good football. There's a lot of good football on Division I, Division II, NAIA, all that stuff, FCS. And what I love about it is it gives opportunity. And I think the hardest thing for some kids to realize when you have been a starter is going to the right school doesn't mean it has to be Division I, Division II, Division III. It's who's going to give you the opportunity to continue to grow as you've seen. And what I've been able to share with this program is I've shared so many people that have found their spot, got the opportunity, and then boom, level up. Yeah. Good example, Will Kyle, starting for the LA Lakers in the summer camp. Why? Because he took risk on himself. He went up to South Dakota, goes to UCLA, goes to Syracuse, and now he's in the NBA. He was never a basketball player until junior or sophomore year in high school. So it's so crazy when we get to share these stories. Welcome back to Nebraska too, man. Mm-hmm. You've been away for a little bit. What's it like, man, coming back and seeing Omaha for a little bit?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's home. But I mean, it's been good to just get out of the house and go to a new environment. I mean, I really loved St. Louis and what it has to offer and just getting involved in the community. So really just nothing but great things to say about both places.
So what I do is I dispatch Life Flight, and today I actually had a request where we had to take a patient to Missouri Baptist, and I found how weird is that of the day that I'm going to talk to you that's where we're taking for a hospital, but that's what I do. Your story starts a long time ago, and a lot of people will know you on social media, right? As soon as the ambidextrous part came out, it started blowing up. What do you recall about that early part of your football career and that starting to blow up for you?
Yeah, I mean, I started as a freshman. Really didn't know much about the game, to be honest. Like, I came into high school football not knowing what kids know today about football. I was really just, there, compete my tail off. I wanted to play, wanted to do great for my school, and that's what I tried to do. And then after my freshman year, that sophomore summer, I realized it was time to turn it up. Like, I got a season under my belt. We actually had a great, roster over there at Bellevue East. Like, we had a bunch of dudes. I mean, just inexperience all around. I feel like is really what hurt us. So then going into my sophomore year, I was like, it's just ready to ramp it up. I got the experience now. Got a season under my belt. I played every week. It was pretty much like I was playing at one Division I commit on the defensive line. We had Maverick Noonan from Nebraska. We had Luke Lindenmeyer and Eric Ingswinger.
Yeah.
however you pronounce his name, from Papio. I mean, Corvidema from Gretna. Every week I was playing, great guys on the D line, and that was really a prime time in Nebraska football. So if I could, survive through that season and, still finish up great, I knew I could do good things. So then we got into my sophomore year. That summer I went to a bunch of camps.
When did the ambidextrous part come out for you?
That came in the spring. QB Plug, I was already connected to him through different camps and stuff, so I already knew him. He's from Omaha, so he's the one to push that video out, and he had a vision for the video and stuff like that. And I remember just that spring, that first day it came out, I was at 1,000 followers, I think, and then overnight I jumped to 3K, and I was like, wow, like, this is amazing, like, I can't believe this. And he was just like, it's gonna get like way more intense, just wait. So then the next day I jumped up to 10K followers, just like that. And I mean, it was just crazy. It was a rush of emotions.
Well, at a young age, right? Like, these are things like in the moment you're like, this is important. This could help just get eyes on me. But if you look back now, you're also like, man, did it get me where I wanted to be? Right. Not in a bad way, because it also got you able to deal with some of that stuff, right? With the fact that all eyes are on you, especially you said you didn't really have football experience before that. What made you decide quarterback and this is what I was going to do if you didn't have a lot of experience? Because most quarterbacks start at like 3-4 and they're ready to go.
Yeah. Really, I started playing. So all through my elementary school and all that, like my youth, I was a baseball player. I was a pitcher, shortstop. Felt like I was one of the best young guys in the area.
Were you a lefty or a righty when it came to baseball?
I was a righty, and
that's weird, because obviously lefty is what people like. I tell you, you find a lefty pitcher, you find a lefty hitter, people all on that.
Yeah.
Did you try any of the ambidextrous of baseball?
That's the origin story, actually. Like, so like I said, I felt like I was really good when I was younger, and I guess my teams I played on reciprocated that, like, belief in me, I guess. So when I was 9, I threw 60 to 70 pitches in a game against Taggy Rutherford, which is they were a local powerhouse team here. And I pitched I think a 2-hit, 1-run, 6-inning, almost a shutout until the last inning when my arms started giving out.
Oh,
that last inning, I started to feel it, and I kind of just pushed through it. And after the game, I told my mom, arm hurts, just like anytime, like, it hurts. And then, but the next day it was like unusual pain, and so she took me to the doctor the next week, and they told me my growth plates had split in my shoulder right here. So my growth plates had split, and I wasn't going to be able to throw a baseball for 9 months. And I was in a sling for a little bit, stuff like that. So I was really out for 9 months, and that's where the ambidextrous stuff came from. My mom, we were at Lead Center practicing for baseball. I was there just watching, cheering on my teammates as they were practicing, and then she came up with the idea, why don't you just throw lefty? You can't throw righty. Why not just throw lefty? And when I started, it was like any kid who throws with their opposite hand. I mean, it was really bad.
Nice and sloppy and everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you started out with wiffle balls, and I couldn't even throw it 5 yards. And then, I mean, that is when I really found my work ethic and dedication, like, at such a young age. Like, there's videos of me throwing for hours left-handed at our stairs with the baseball, just pelting it, just going to town, working on my throwing mechanics in baseball, just trying to get my arm strength up, working on coordination, stuff like that.
And it's weird because it's all streaming from you couldn't throw with your right arm for 9 months. And I think most people would just go, okay, that's 9 months. I give up. And especially at a young age, right? You're like, I got more years.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's really where I found my work ethic. And by the time I got to high school, I worked on it a lot, and I was still using it in baseball. I tried out switch pitching, and that was was an experience. I mean, it worked. Sometimes it didn't work. But the good part was if I hurt my arm, I could throw with the other one at a young age. No one's throwing 80 miles an hour at 10U. So I was fine going left or right. I feel like I was caught up to my age level with my left arm already. And so I was, ready to go show off with that kind of thing. So yeah, that was a great experience. But when I got to high school, baseball kind of just lost love for the game. Coaches, like, just football really took over. I was playing Legion my 8th grade year, and I played JV. I was starting shortstop. I mean, that was fun, but it just wasn't for me anymore. I didn't enjoy baseball.
Did you do it all year round? Did you get into baseball all year round, or maybe where it burnt you out?
Yeah.
The fall ball, because I mean, my son did a couple years of fall ball towards the end, just to stay going and try to get more reps. But fall ball's no fun. No fun, because if you don't have like 3 or 4 pitchers, and most pitchers aren't looking for those reps because they've already done those reps, then you get the one-offs, right? Like the kid who can throw but doesn't give you the full innings. What was like kind of that experience as far as the burnout for you? Like, what did it come for?
From what I remember, I just viewed it as, it was fun, like all around baseball. Like I was always an active kid. I always just wanted to get out of the house and go do things. Like I remember going to my grandma's and begging my cousins to go outside and just throw at the dead end right there, just wall ball. Just I was begging them all day. Like, and I still do that to this day. Like, we were just at the celebration. I'm like, let's go play bags. Let's go throw a baseball. Let's
do something.
Yeah. Let's just do something. So I've always been that way, to just be active. So, I mean, all around baseball was nothing.
You get into football. How did that start? What was like your first experience that you remember for football?
BJSA, and I was offensive lineman because I was the biggest kid on the team. So I remember playing like tackle guard, and I wanted to play quarterback, and like really bad. That's all I wanted to do.
Well, and see, now it continues to make sense, and I think that's what most of the time pitchers, because of the relation of throwing the ball, like it makes sense, and it works for it.
But pitching and football are very
different mechanics.
So that goes into why I quit football. I mean, pitching, if you pitch and then you throw a football, my arm was dead at the end of that 8th grade summer. That's really another reason. I mean, my arm was just wasted. I remember pre-summer I was throwing, 55, 60, and then post-summer I was at 50 just because my arm was so shot. And my whole freshman season I played with a shot arm pretty much. Like, it was hurt all season long because of baseball. So I was like, I still wanted to play baseball after that Legion season, but after football season and it was still hurting, I'm like, no way, like, I can't do it anymore. Not that I had to choose one, but I didn't want to pitch anymore. And I had a strong arm, so they were like, you have to pitch kind of thing. But I didn't.
See, and that's what some people forget is, and I mean, I've, worked around a D1 baseball player that, I still talk to him every day, but he would get injured with his back at different parts because of how much he did for baseball and how much hitting and how much lifting. Goes to D1 college. They do so much hitting, so much, even after his recovery. And he goes see a doctor, and the doctor says, I'm going to be honest, you can continue to play. We can do surgery, but there's no guarantee it's not going to ruin the future. And like saying that to kids who have opportunities that they don't even know yet, or they're still experiencing, is rough. You got to make rough decisions. You got to go, do I want to keep getting this pain in this arm, or do I want to experience what you're experiencing with football? You get into football. Do you have much prior to 9th grade? Did you have much work at camps or stuff like that?
Not at all.
For a quarterback?
I trained with Coach O. You might know Coach Olahan.
Yeah.
He coached at Omaha South for a while.
Yeah. He was the OG Omaha South coach. So I love him.
I trained with him 5th grade until now. I still train with him.
Yeah.
But that's really where it started. Outside of training with him, started 7th and 8th grade year on the varsity team at Lewis and Clark. And then, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I mean, I'm just going out there, I'm playing. 8th grade.
Find a guy's open, throw it to him.
7th grade year, I definitely had no clue what was happening. 8th grade year, kind of like goes along with the experience thing. Like, even though it was middle school, I still had experience. Like, there were some big kids from like West Side and Papio. Like, they were breeding some big boys. But I mean, 8th grade year, I had a good arm and I was fast. So that year was pretty easy for me. But then once I got to high school, it just became a whole different level, honestly.
You get in that first freshman year and you get to the experience of the quarterback. What's some things that you felt like was going well for you, and what's some things that you're like eye-opening by the end of the season for you?
Going well, I'd say just at a young age and the speed being different from middle school to high school, like me being able to, not all the time, but evade, some elite rushers. I feel like that was something that, I was hinting at my freshman year. And then just my confidence through the year just kept growing, even though, you're getting blown out. My confidence just stayed high. I knew at a young age, I knew I had to lead a team. I knew I had to step up and be a leader. So that's what I tried to do. I mean, what went bad? I mean, just no experience, not really know what I was reading. Like, I was never taught to that level yet at that age. I didn't really know what I was coming into. And so just that aspect that, I wasn't fully prepared, I'd say. And that really, can play into how things are in college. You have to be completely prepared. You have to know what you're going into. And I mean, that's what I'm preparing for right now.
Well, and then from the outside looking in, because that's, of course, all I have is what people feel. You guys have to move, dad's work, but no one knows that. They think that it's just everything is looking to try to get you to better and bigger things, which is not a bad thing either as a father, right? Like, you always want your kids better than you are. If you're not going for that as a father, I don't know what else to tell you. You go down to Texas and Oklahoma, and that stuff. I mean, when you talk about experience, you talk about football, you talk about ready for, I don't even have to live there and I could tell you how it is, because I know the stories, I know the facts, and obviously we see it every day when you look at where athletes are from, where the big schools are. What was that like for you, one, to go from Bellevue East, and two, to go down there and see what the challenge is? Because you've talked of some big D1 athletes that are now athletes at D1, but I'm sure you probably saw more than that down there.
Yeah. When I got to Texas, I knew it was just, once again, time to work. It was a fresh start. I came off a broken wrist my sophomore year, so really that off season I didn't get much training. Like, I had to kind of do stuff on my own and find a new trainer, stuff like that. So literally completely fresh start. And so I thought that was a good opportunity for me, just as a football player and even in the classroom, to go down there and just have a new experience, which not a lot of kids can say they had. Like,
well, and they're different down there, right? You have to actually almost apply to get into the school, right? Or something like that. Like, where you have to,
I think football wise.
yeah, for football, like it isn't just like, hey, I'm going to come be on your team. Like, there's a whole process.
Yeah. Especially if you're moving in, they have, different restrictions and stuff like that. So you have to go through a whole process. So that's kind of how that went for that.
How did you feel during this time? Like, obviously it's not easy, but you're taking the challenge that's given to you. And this, obviously, adversity is continually making you who you are today. Like, you're given what you can handle. Hopefully, I would hope you got from it. But what was like your biggest take from just going to Texas first?
I would say, I mean, as corny as it is, all gas, no brakes. That's how it was. That's how Texas football is. Like, it's all year long. You're always looking to improve somehow. But I've always been one to just block out something I can't control, and I just put my head down and I go to work. So that's what I feel like I learned the most down there. Like, whether, something happened at practice, whether it was, dang, I had to leave home with my dad. Like I can't control that. I mean, I'm just coming down here ready to work and control what I can control. I knew I wanted to go far and do something good in football, so why not work for it?
It gets you working, and then of course through this time you're also doing college visits and stuff. What's that like for you going to some of these big schools? Is it any intimidation looking around you? Is it, because you have the experience as a high school football quarterback, but like you said, you don't have the higher experience to where you feel comfortable in your own self in the process.
Yeah, at that time I didn't have a lot of interest. After my freshman year, I was getting some good interest just because I was a freshman starting on varsity. People could, see highlights, see flashes in me. So it was small interest my freshman year, but sophomore year, I had a lot of hype building up into that because I went to so many camps and I just got so much better through that summer. But then I broke my wrist that season, and going into Allen, my coach told me because of those videos, I was the most famous person to walk through that school. Even if they had Kyler Murray, coaches knew of me. It was just time for me to go show what I could do. And so at that time, there was chatter, but me personally, I didn't feel like I had a lot of interest. So just more work to be done, more to be proven. And I feel like that's always been the memo for me. I have, like you said, there's social media Mikey Gow and there's behind the scenes Mikey Gow. And behind the scenes Mikey Gow is always working. He's always putting in overtime. That's how I was down there. If these people are saying different things and it's time and they want me to prove it, and it's time to prove it. That's how it is.
Then of course you guys got to move up to Oklahoma. What was that for you? You're trying to build yourself, but you can only control what you can control. What was that move for you?
Yeah. Oklahoma was a lot different from Texas, a lot different from Nebraska. Very muddy. Very muddy. But yeah, it was just, I don't have much to say about how it was down there. We were kind of, just pushing through it. To go from big school in Texas, the mecca of high school football, honestly. And I had a great experience down there. Only thing down there was my grades were suffering just because it was big school. I'm going from 2,000 kids to 9,000 kids. I'm going from 15 people in my class to 30 people in my class. It's a lot different. And I had to do stuff personally to try to bump my grades up and stuff tutor just because I wasn't used to it. If I were used to it, I feel like Texas would have been as a student a lot better for me. But yeah,
and add the fact of COVID's going on, so when you in 2020 you guys get hit with COVID, so right before high school and all that stuff, I don't know about anybody else, but that was one of the worst times for schools for any kid. It just was, because there was a lot of, we'll just kind of push you through instead of help you and find you guidance to get through. They'll make sure you're I don't know what school district, I'll let people say that, but no kid left behind. You're right. No kid needs left behind, but we can't just push people through without seeing if they need help. On the football side, who was some people that you were starting to gain some traction with down there that maybe even to this day you still could reach out if you needed? Was there some people that you could find that were believing in you? Because if you don't have that besides yourself, and I'm not saying everybody's going to believe in you, but every stop you go, there's someone that is putting that belief in you. Who was it for you through those times?
I would say my trainers down there. Outside of my coaches, I feel like the coaches in Texas you're talking about?
Both.
Just
Texas,
both?
whatever,
Texas for sure. My head coach, I feel like, had a lot of belief in me. No coach says it because they want you to stay hungry, but I feel like he had a lot of belief in me. I feel like my teammates had a lot of belief in me. I was voted in my section the most competitive on the team. And so, I mean, that just goes to show what I came down there and what I did so quick. But I mean, belief wise, my trainers, I worked with D1. They're a athletic training, company down there. And I had 2 guys over there that really just believed in me and were with me all the way. And I still talk to them this day. And I mean, that's just a great thing. We hit Jerry and Coach AB. Coach AB was my speed coach and really got me faster down there. And then Jerry was like the manager. And me and my dad still talk to him like a lot to this day. And he just had so much belief in me and just realized that's all I needed was just belief.
It's weird how it's so contagious when you get around it, and it feeds into who you can be. What's some of the hardest things you think you had to go through those times? I mean, switching schools, yeah, it kind of prepares you for college. I mean, people come, people go, but Bellevue was your home. How was the mental? What was some things that you were able to, have some rough times, but you made it through?
I would say just staying true to myself, like not changing who I was because who I was around, whether I was around high level D1 athletes, high level coaches, just staying myself, staying true to who I am, because that's tough to do when you get around these different communities that you're not used to. You're around new friends. But I stayed true to who I am. I was never outgoing, go out of the house type. I was just, like I said, stay to myself, work, and that's how I continued to be down there.
How did you keep yourself from not getting burnt out from just doing that? What was some things? Was it video games, fishing? What was some things that kept Mikey Gow on the even kill through it all?
Honestly, at that time, TikTok. I was the ambidextrous stuff had nothing to do with like where my TikTok is. I was just posting a lot, and that was so much fun for me to just be like before a content creator before content was a thing. Like a content creator before content creator was a thing. Like I was just having fun doing it, and that was my hobby. I was going like live on TikTok Live. I was playing just chess on TikTok Live, just chatting it up with
whoever jumped in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time. So that's really how I stayed level.
And it's weird because it's those little things that people don't know. Like they're like, if all he does is football, how could he get out of that? But you have to have things you can go to just, you had a bad day, boom, what can you do? What can you do? And the hardest thing is to be able to go, this is what I did because I was having a hard day. Now, you go through those schools. How much playing time did you get? What all happened with all that? What was that experience like? Because Texas plays all year round. Were you ready to go? Were you ready to go before you had to move? Was it like one of those situations for you?
Yeah, I was ready to go. They have whole spring ball down there, like whole practices. We were practicing 6 a.m. My coach didn't believe in anything earlier than 6 because the difference between 5:59 and 6. Don't want to wake up at 5:59, but you're good to go at 6. So that's how it was. And then can't remember if we did two a days or not, but I mean that's just how high school football was there. So yeah, playing time wise, I had a great spring game. I put myself in a good position to work through the summer and then have them make a decision at fall camp. But we had to move again before summer even started. And then when I got there, when I got there to Oklahoma, there was 4 total quarterbacks. We had a kid my age, a senior, and then a freshman coming in. And so that summer I was just competing, trying to learn the offense. That's another big thing. Like you have to learn a whole new team, a whole new offense in 2 months. And where I was at in Oklahoma, these kids, they have like breeder programs. Like they like BJSA.
Yeah.
Not BJSA. It's Bellevue West. Like imagine only Bellevue West. So they're breeding in those kids, same offense, same verbiage, same all that stuff.
So they're ready to go when they come in freshman.
They're ready to go. So if you're a true freshman and you're starting there, I don't think that's like crazy. Like that's not a once in every 10 years kind of true freshman or freshman start. Like they've been learning the offense. They've been learning like the verbiage. They know everything. So that's kind of how I came in, not knowing that. And so I kind of got stuck in the mud a little bit. Started the year, started fall camp, rotating 1 reps. And then by the time the end of fall camp, they went with a bigger kid that could run and just run their offense better. He was maybe 6'4", 220, just all muscle. So I mean, he could run their offense how they wanted, and I kind of just, once again, I'm back in that spot where it's time to just keep my head down and work. And so I played JV that whole season as a junior, which was really disheartening for me. But I just kind of had to get through that.
But it's playing time. You know, and I think that's where you got to take that also to where you are today, because that's what you're trying to stack up. It is great to be at those schools. You obviously competed your ass off, but you were very smart on the fact of the things that you couldn't make up for. Too much or quick having to learn the offense. Because, I mean, what did the offense, if you explain to anybody watching the offense from Bellevue East, Allen, Texas to Oklahoma, how did that go for you? So what was Bellevue East?
Bellevue East, we had –
was it the –
well, we had 2 offenses at Bellevue East.
Okay.
My freshman year, we had a different head coach, and then my sophomore year, Coach Tooman, he was our quarterbacks coach, but he didn't call any offensive plays. So my sophomore year, he became head coach and took over, and we ran his offense. So freshman year, it was a lot of under center, like I guess inexperienced. I was inexperienced, so it's not like they're gonna trust me and put the ball in my hands every time.
Yeah,
so that sort of thing. And then sophomore year, we had a fantastic offense. I mean, we were spread, we were gun, we were just air raid, ready to go. And then Allen, from what I remember, is very like pro style, and there was different tags, and I had to learn a lot of the offense really quick. And it wasn't something I was used to, like a pro type offense like that, where there's so many different audibles and different calls. But I think I really adjusted to that well, and how that went. And then Oklahoma, if you watch Tennessee, Josh Heupel, Oklahoma, it's
so they pretty much probably took from like Stoops and all them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like how they, like pretty much every route in that offense is an option. Like what the corner does, depending on the play, but like what the corner or safety does
is going to determine what the receiver does, and you got to know.
If he's bailing, if he's at 10 yards and he bails, then the receiver's going to sit at 10. If he's like square hips and he's not backpedaling, just run right past him, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's plays where you can run a crosser, a sit, or a go. So you had to know off that. So that goes with the offense too. Like they all knew what to expect, and I kind of didn't. So yeah, that was that experience.
Do you think those 2 schools though helped kind of your reading of defenses? How did that kind of grow and develop for you early before you came back home?
For sure. Like, I mean, going my freshman year, I didn't know anything at all. Like, I was just out there. Like I said,
he's like, fun. It's 11 on 11. Okay, yeah. Don't worry about anything else.
I mean, I see an open space over there. I'm throwing it there. And then sophomore year, Coach Tooman kind of he helped reading offense. I feel like that's probably one of my earlier years that I had a lot of growth. So I just wish I stayed healthy that season, but it's can't do anything about it now. But then going into Allen, they taught me a lot, and I mean all the offenses were just different. There's different reads, so that's really a selling point I had for myself in recruiting. Like I've been in a bunch of different offenses. I know different like variety of plays. I know where to read. Like on one play, you'll be looking at the boundary safety. He'll be telling you everything. But then if it's like a quick game play, a specific quick game play, you're not looking at the boundary safety. You're looking at, maybe where the Mike backer is going to go. Like if he goes this way, you go the other way. So that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really learned a lot down there, I'd say.
Then you get an opportunity to possibly come back home. How does that go for you with former friends and stuff like that? And of course, everybody thinks You're coming back. You got to go to East. That's where you got to go. That's where you were. What was that like for you?
I got some good advice when I got back on what to do. Just, I mean, first of all, train your butt off, get back in shape. Because I came off 3 or 4 months in online school, so I wasn't in the best shape. So first of all, just get in shape, condition, do all that stuff. And then Yano Jones from Papio South helped me find Omaha North and Coach Martin. And that wasn't even in the option for me at all. I never thought of Omaha North. You always heard not to go to Omaha North. Don't go around Omaha North when you're growing up in Bellevue. And I listened to his advice, even though I was kind of weary of it. And I mean, yeah, that's how it went.
Yano impacted so many athletes before his passing, and what I was blessed with, of course, being at his celebration of life is watching these players be able to speak on it. And for you to say it today, for me, just hits home because, I just got this stuff going back again because the Omaha Beef, we're done with that season. And the first guy I bring on, he does coverage for 8th and 9th graders. That's what he does. NE Next on Twitter. And he brings up Yano Jones and how important. And it's like two people real quick to bring up the same guy of all it takes is one guy to, one, have connections, because through this whole time, it hasn't been easy for you, but you've continued to grow your connections with people that, as you stated, you still can use today. Your D1 trainers, the people. And I think these are part of life that is teaching them well beyond high school. But in high school, you're not seeing it. You're just like, gosh, I got to move. I got to do this. You're going through the adversity. What do you remember about coming up and talking to Coach Martin? How important was that for you?
Best coach I've ever been around. Best guy I've ever been around. Just keeps it real. Never gonna BS you. I mean, I knew from the jump that he was as real as it gets. And him and Coach McLaughlin, who was head coach at Wayne State for multiple decades, so he knew a lot of football. But I mean, both right away you could just tell it was going to be like, if I go here, I'm going to have a great experience. And that's just the vibe that Coach Martin gives off, I think, to any player. He's never going to BS you. And if you put in the work and you do the vision that he has planned for the team, I have no doubt that he's always going to do the right thing and tell you what's right.
You, of course, got a good group that you grow around there. What was some of the people that was very impactful on that team? Because teammates, as you're finishing up your high school career, sometimes continue to be the ones that impact you, as you're seeing. It's a thing of I watch you, you watch me, and we just see how we all grow outside of the game.
Yeah. For sure, Darian Jones, I knew him since we played any elite in 7th grade together a little bit. And so I knew him from then. And at that time, he was a scrawny little 5 foot, 90 pound, no muscle kid. I mean, he was young, and then I see him when I got there, and he shot up to 6'1", and he's good frame. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, I knew Darian for a while, and I mean, our connection was just right from the jump. I remember right away, the first week I got there, we went out on the field and we just threw, and we got that connection going early, and that was such a great year for both of us. And I mean, it just started from our chemistry from the start, like from the jump. We had such great chemistry. And then I would say Tyson Terry for sure, best leader I've ever been around. He's really, if you think of like a player's coach, that was him. Like, he led everything. He wasn't afraid to speak up. I'm actually watching Last Dance documentary from Michael Jordan, and it reminds me a lot of how Tyson, spoke to us and really got the team behind him. Like, they all talk about now how North is not the same without Tyson, and for good reason, because he just bled into that program. His whole family line is from that program. So he bled Omaha North, and it was easy to tell like once I got there about that for sure.
Well, and the biggest thing is he could have went anywhere. I mean, he went and played Millard North just to play when COVID year happened. Like, he went just to play because he knew he couldn't play in Omaha, but he came back home. And, and I know last year we all missed him, for his freshman year with his injury, but that dude was a dog. He straight won 4 championships in wrestling, and the last one with the torn ACL. Like he's the one that makes you want to run through the walls. How do you take some of that and put that into the spice that you are today? Because you've said it, you have to be that leader. They have to look up to you. How have you been able to incorporate some of that for you?
I would say with him, just keeping things cordial. Like, he got hurt during our week 6 game versus Buena Vista, and we didn't know anything about it. He never said anything. Like, keeping it cordial. Like, he just said, I'm hurt. I'll be back for playoffs. Like, I'll be good to go. We didn't know he had a torn ACL. Like, he just didn't want the team to feel any type of way and just like get their mojo down. Like, we got Tyson coming back. Semifinals, we got Tyson coming back for West Side. We're good. Like, we're ready to play some ball. And so I mean, just the mindset wise, just keeping the team's mindset up no matter how hard it gets. That's a big thing. And then to go along with keeping it cordial, like you can have great friends on the team, but you got to know when it's time to lace them up and get serious. Like, that doesn't really matter. Like, are we here to win games? Are we here to work hard? Or are we here to make friends? Like, that's what it comes down to. So those 2 big things for sure.
You, of course, get through that season and you guys make it to the semis, which, a lot of people didn't have faith in you when you came back. They're like, what has he learned? What has he done? Being able to leave the marks that you left at Omaha North, there was some records that you set, but just being able to show that you could go through all the experience through high school that you did and end up where you did. How did that help push you further the next couple years?
Yeah. I mean, really, it was just a big confidence boost for myself. Coming up, it's always a stigma playing junior as a JV or JV as a juniors.
Yeah.
Like, that's always a stigma. So my confidence was shot after that season, to be honest. But that goes along with Coach Martin and being able to instill that back in me. And, he never thought we couldn't win a game by maybe not 50 points, but, it's going to be no matter who we're playing. We could play Alabama with Heisman, Devontae Smith, and we have a chance. Like, that's how Coach Martin was. And so it was easy to have confidence on that team with him and all the players. So just my confidence got shot up quickly after that. Like, I felt back to how I was, and it was just fun. Like, it was like I was playing freshman year football, but I knew what I was doing. Like, it was the same feeling, like, every week. It's one of those things where you cry after the season because you realize, what a ride that was, sort of thing.
What was your recruiting process up until then?
So after that year at Omaha North, I had some D2s. Well, going into that summer, I had D2s, talking to me, and I think that's where I made a big mistake, thinking, D1 or bust.
Yeah,
I had that mindset after everything I'd been through, and the type of player I knew I was. Like, I was thinking D1 or bust.
So you had to reset yourself to go what you feel is owed to you and what they feel is owed to you, right? Like, I think that's something that athletes, the sooner you realize that part, because you can only commit to one school, right? Like, but they have to buy into you just as much as you buy into them. And the level doesn't matter. And I say that because we have players who make it to all different levels, from all the way down to JUCO. I mean, you brought up the Terry family. Look at what Aaron Terry's doing with all those D linemen that are just getting opportunities after opportunities. But it's not easy because you're the quarterback. You just had fun. You've proven yourself through adversity. You've went time and time again. But you also have a hard part too that maybe many people don't know, but I know your dad's not afraid to talk about it. Dads or parents can be an influence on your experience as far as with what offers you can get and what you can't. And what I liked about your dad is he told me about it because it means something to him. But when you're going through the social media days and you're going through recruiting days, as a parent, you just care. But for the colleges, they just want you and only you. And I think with this example, especially for any Nebraska prep or anybody watching that is not committed or understand that parents matter in the situation, but it's you and they're wanting you and only you. So, and I appreciate again your dad just reaching out and just putting that out there in my ear because people do wonder, why didn't you get this? Why didn't you get that? For you, you felt like you wanted D1 or bust. You're getting these D2s. How are you communicating with them to make sure that that still could be a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, really, I'll be upfront. I had a horrible mindset with that. Like, if I knew what I knew today, and I mean, especially with how college football is changing, I would have, you know, talked to those coaches. I would have been upfront with those coaches. I would have visited those schools. I would have done a lot different just with that. Realizing, I had a great year at Omaha North, but the way college football is changing, you need multiple good years. Or if you're not coming in, if you're not highly recruited, like from freshman year, which is how a lot of kids are doing now, you really got to stand out, like how Jet Tamala did. Like you really have to pop out and like make something of yourself. And I just didn't have that right mindset. I wish I would have talked to those coaches and did things different, but can't change it now. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, but it's your learning as well that I think is going to make your next 4 years or however, you obviously get 5, whatever you do to the fullest because you're not going to miss out. And you could always go back to I wish and I could have, I should have,
Right.
but you can only live in the moment. Where does the academy now? And I only ask this because my son, I try to reclassify him back in when COVID happened because he was a young high schooler and he graduated when he was 17. And unfortunately, he grew taller than me, so 6 foot after high school when he turned 18. And I know a lot of people want to talk stuff and they're like, I don't understand why people reclassify. And the mental part for young men is totally different with that one extra year. You, of course, go off to academy. What was that decision for you? What did you guys feel that was best interest? Was it because of the colleges that were looking at you? How did that come about for you?
Um, sort of. I had pretty much 2 years of my high school, kind of cheated from me. Like I got injured my sophomore year, played 1 game, missed the rest of the year. And then my junior year, we did all that moving around, could never really settle in a spot. So that's 2 years kind of wasted. So, I mean, just another year to have another opportunity and another chance to show college coaches, I'm your guy kind of thing. And so yeah, that's really when it went into that. And we had some advice from different perspectives not to do it, to do it. But ultimately we decided we're going to go out there and we're going to make the most out of it. And it worked. When I first got out there, I went in April from living with my family that I've lived with for 17 years, and then I get out there and I'm in a dorm room by myself for a whole month. And the dorms, just like a college dorm, probably. I don't know. I haven't been in a dorm yet, but probably. It's not the highest of quality. You're really testing yourself at that point. Like, do I really want this? So for that aspect, I realized I do want it. I do want this, and so from that aspect, it was great for me that spring. But yeah, like prep school, that was really the big reason. Like I need another year to just show myself, and I had that. Like I said, I had that mindset, D1 or bust, and I was like, I'm gonna work for it, and because the work always shows. So I'm gonna try to, or I'm gonna do my best to work for it, and if it works out, it works out. If not, God always has a plan. So
You of course get out there. Things go the way they go, but it's all about the opportunities that you continued after that. You of course did some Team USA, right? You did some
yeah,
All American as well. When you think of all these things that you got to lead up to where you are today, you obviously also got into the RG3 experiment. When you do that, what did you earn from those things outside of the classroom, outside of the school, all those extras that some people may be afraid to go test to see if they're a part of it? Obviously, we all know that it's out there. You threw that nice bomb to win the game and in the All American and you're getting all these experiences. What was that like to kind of help you know that you're in the right position, but what college you choose is going to be maybe not where you thought it was? Did it kind of just open your eyes a little bit?
yeah. Funny you bring up the All American game. I was going. So we really did that after my season, like another year that just wasn't great for me. Like my high school career so far, or not so far, like the end of my high school career was very up and down. And so boom, we got All American game, another chance to just give myself an opportunity, and that's how I viewed it. It was different skill levels. We had running back that 4-star committed to SMU, and then we had guys who are like going JUCO NAIA. So it was just like high school, like, but it's one more game, and it was one more game, and it was a great experience at the end of the day. That's how I viewed it, and threw that nice touchdown. Had a couple other nice plays, and I viewed that experience as just a chance to get some more connections because I knew I had to find a spot soon and make some relationships with some coaches quick. So yeah, the All American game was a great experience for that.
You get to do the RG3. What was that like meeting with him and all that stuff?
Yeah, me and my dad talk about it all the time that we didn't know it was real at first. Like we've been not that like not to say anything about myself, but we've like at a young age, I was going through like different agents and stuff, just because we didn't know how to handle my social media and stuff like that. So that's what
There's no book out there. There like this is the bad part, and sorry to say this as you'll get to that, but NIL, this is what's scary is there's no control to help parents and kids deal with stuff that they've never experienced before. It's bad enough we don't talk about credit and all that out of high school. So when you get that credit card and you're going to high school or college and you need that credit card, and then you get out of college and you got the college debt, you got the credit card debt, like they don't talk those things. Well, now you got NIL stuff and you got all these things that so much on your plate and there's no guidance. And as parents, and that's kind of why I also like doing this show is giving parents who don't have the connections and don't have that thought state of mind, because all they have is what they see. They only see what's on the news or on the Twitter or on any of the social media. That's all they have of going, yeah, man, they're getting money, but it's about what you do with you. You got brand, you got all this stuff going on. It's just added on those plates that you got to keep trying to spin. And you get down to the RG3. Well, you go through that experience. What all did you learn from it?
Yeah, so I went down and worked out with RG3 down in Texas, and at that point, like I said, we didn't know that it was legit. Like all we talked to was the agent side of RG3 Sports, and so we were talking to him for a couple months, and he was like, or I wanted to, like, me and my dad were like, can we get a workout in with RG3? Like, that'd be pretty sweet. So he set it up, and then we went down there, and we got there, and it was just kind of surreal. That's a guy I grew up watching his highlights, and then now he's working with me. Like, that's kind of a surreal feeling. And so yeah, we did that whole workout with him. He had his kids there, very just welcoming and family oriented. Like you're with us now. Like, you're our family, kind of sort of thing. Like, he wishes me like Happy New Year's, Happy 4th of July. He stays in contact with me. So, and he helped a little bit with recruiting and trying to set some stuff up. So he's been a big help, and just his name, honestly. Like, I mean, that's a big name out there, and that was big experience for me.
I think what some people can hopefully take away from this is, like, if you get to meet any of these athletes that have reached levels you want to be, just know they're people like you and I. And that's why I love sharing the stories. I mean, Tommy Armstrong is like one of my best friends now. Like, yeah, like, I mean, I called him on my daughter's wedding day to talk to him because all my brothers I don't have that connection with. I called him, that dude answered, and we're talking. Because they normally, when they're in the spotlight, they get all this negativeness, and they have to find ways to stay positive, and being around people that obviously have a lot of the same interests. They're getting the opportunity to teach you. It just means a little bit more to them than people realize. They think, oh, they're about money, they're about their posts, no, they're about being family, and they're about making that atmosphere. And then how does the division or the NAIA come to you to feel like that could be a place for you? How do you help yourself to realize I'm going to be wherever they want me to be?
Yeah. I heard, early in high school and throughout high school, go where you feel you're wanted. And that's really what Coach Bridge at Missouri Baptist made me feel, and a couple of other coaches too from different schools. But honestly, like, educational wise, for a high school football athlete, to realize, NAIAs do scholarships and stuff like that. Like, we had no idea. Like, so we were scared of, like, facing, not that I have anything to do with it, but like financial problems and stuff like that. Like, moving 2-3 times isn't financially easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like hearing that they give scholarships and stuff, that was really a game changer. And then I found Coach Bridge and Jamie Martin, my quarterback coach in Missouri Baptist. And
Maybe you've heard of Jamie Martin, maybe you haven't. St. Louis Rams, I don't know, right? But it continues those connections too, because I mean, that's how I've grown a connection with Coach Held at UNK. Is he's connected to so many more people that he wants to, for me, I use him more for getting that college information and understanding on how it goes for players, and being able to have these conversations with someone like yourself of going through those things to where it's not just, oh, he doesn't, I never went to college. I didn't play college sports, so I can't speak of that way. All I can do is talk about what coaches talk about and how they feel, because I was a high school coach for 8 years. So it's not like I don't have that realm, but it's that fact of finding those people that you can make one connection with. And you have obviously found it with someone that has it all the way to the UFL, which is a league. You have it all the way to the NFL. You have it where these people now believe in you, and they've had people believe in them. How does that just kind of bring you back to full circle to understand that all the adversity that you went through just prepared you for who and where you're at right now?
yeah, I mean, yeah, really. I just feel so blessed to have found this school, honestly, with how things have gone with my high school career. And like, it just feels meant to be. And to find people that have been there, done it, all different things. Like, my head coach, he was a NFL agent for a while. He was an agent, We have like sports writers, former sports writers as our coaches, former NFL draftees, former NFL 15-year veterans. Like we have the whole coaching staff. You're not going to beat that at any level. And so it's actually, such a blessing to be here and find that. And so, yeah, that's what I'd say.
As far as location, did it matter for you of how close you wanted to be to home? Was that ever a part of your mind before you decided on where you wanted to go?
Not really. It's close. I didn't want to go, across the country, but I wanted to go where I was wanted and, have the best chance to showcase myself. And so it didn't matter the location, just the right opportunity.
Just for yourself, what's some things that this coaching staff made you feel like this could be home, and what made it home for you?
Just the way they talk. I took a visit down there in February, and freezing cold, snow on the ground, like pitfall. It was pitful to like look around. The campus looked great and all that, but never like to see snow on the ground. And I went to a meeting with Coach Bridge and Coach Martin, and just like that, I knew. Like most kids say they know, like this feels like home. That's how I felt. Like I just knew. Like it didn't matter 6 hours away from home. I just knew this was the spot. And so they really made it easy for me, honestly, to make that decision. And Coach Martin plans on running pro-style ready offense. Like, he's been there, done that. So he knows what he's talking about. There's no one better to learn from. So that really played into it too. And like I said, just the coaching staff.
Fastest show on turf. That's where he was from. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see that when you're speaking to the fans out there, Missouri Baptist, what are they getting with Mikey Gow?
You're getting work ethic, hard worker, getting someone that's ready to grind, that has been grinding. And to my coaches, they know I'm putting in work, and I'm doing my best to get on the field as early as I can, and I want that, and I'm ready to work for it.
Sending one message out to current and future Nebraska preps, looking back on freshman Mikey Gow and to where you are today, what's the one thing that you wish you knew?
I wish I knew to look at every opportunity. Never bat the eye at any opportunity. Any chance to play football is great. It's a blessing. And, especially in today's college football, D1 or bust should not be the mindset. There's great football everywhere. Guys are looking to go up from different levels. So, and it happens every day. You're seeing it happen every day. So don't bat the eye at any opportunity. And if you're blessed enough to have, Division I opportunities in high school, be ready to take in, be ready to go into college and work.
Well, Mikey, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your story. I appreciate you going hard in the paint, of being able to be open about through an experience where it's not normal. It's not what you read on social media. It's hard. There was a lot of adversity that he overcame, but the number one thing that they stuck to was themselves and being themselves. They didn't allow the social media, the chatter, to determine where he's going to be or what he's going to be. And that's the hardest part, especially when you have so much early social media presence, because it's hard, because it is a fashion of going, people want me. But until you get to the hard part of people wanting you for your job that you want to do, it kind of mindsets you to go, man, was it the one that I wanted? It wasn't the people that I wanted to want me, because you didn't get seen or felt like you were seen by the Division I's that you wanted, but you learn through it. You're about to go show Missouri Baptist what it is. And we can't wait to watch, but make sure to like, share, follow, and do all those things. And remember, you can always catch this and all of our other episodes on the Adam Carriker platform out there, carrikerchronicles.com. Also, we can't thank the Omaha Beef enough for allowing us to use the StreamYard. Remember, they're pumping up for the 2027. That team went 0-5 and rattled off 6 straight in a row to lose in the semis, man. All because they just stuck to their guns and changed coaches. So just remember, all it takes is one person to believe in you, and you never know what's going to happen to you. And until next time, we'll see you. Thanks again, Mikey.
Thank you.
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.